Hi everyone, welcome to Tom's Manshed. Okay, this review is on this that I've just bought. It's a Pine 64 desktop power supply. Now, I've just bought this along with their Pine Sill soldering iron and a set of tips for that. Check out my other review up here for details about that. So they both go together, but this I can use for loads of other stuff as well as powering the soldering iron. What it is power supply, as I've said. But the good thing about this is it's got quick charge 3 output here and power delivery 65 watt USB-C outlet here. Now, what that means is, as well as your 3 normal USB sockets for just powering like older generation stuff, which is fixed at 5 volts output, the beauty with Quick Charge 3 is that it can select its output to 9 volts or even 12 volts from this plug, and on this one up to 20 volts on your USB-C for powering the aforementioned soldering iron. So if your equipment that you're charging with this, like your mobile phone, your tablet, your Bluetooth speaker, whatever, is Quick Charge 3 compatible, so that's what the later sort of stuff, it can take advantage of an increased input voltage and so reducing the charge time. Now, I'll be going through in detail with this. I'm going to show you the difference of it charging an old technology power bank that I've had a few years, which is not Quick Charge 3 compatible. It can only charge on a fixed 5.1 volts, and a new style power bank, which again, check out my other review for that. I've done a review on that I got last week from Lidl's. Now that is Quick Charge compatible, so it will charge up quicker than the old stuff, and I'll demonstrate that very, very soon. So as well as all them features, it's also got a place on the top there, wireless charging pad for your phone, if your phone has got wireless charging capabilities, and it'll charge at up to 10 watts with that. Now, the beauty about this is it's 120 watts output, and even with using all of these of their full capacity, it's within that 120 watts, so you can charge multiple items all at the same time on the full oomph. A lot of chargers you'll find won't do that. If you plug 2 things in, it sort of like halves the capability, but not on this. It's got plenty of output to supply everything at full rate all the time. Now, like I said, I'll go into detail and I'll put on screen the voltages and the amperage that it puts out, and we'll go into detail about that. But it comes with, get this sorted out, it comes with a 3-pin UK plug. It says on the website, I'm going to show you that in a second, 2-pin Euro plug, but it is a 3-pin plug that comes with it, and it's just your normal figure of 8 type socket on the back, and that plugs in the back there, and there's a power switch there as well. So all the specifications are there, but I'll show you them again in, like I say, in detail. This has got a 13 amp fuse in it. Should be a 3 amp really, so I'll swap that for a 3 amp fuse. So that's that. I'll go into detail now. I'll show you first of all the website where I got it from. So this is where I got it. Here it's a company called Pine 64, and like I said, they do all sorts of stuff. It was the soldering iron that interested me, and I got this at the same time, but you can see all the specifications of it here. That's the dimensions. And like I say, as you see down here, it says 2-pin EU plug power cable, but it is actually a 3-pin plug, and it is $35.99. That's in dollars. This and the Pine Sill soldering iron and the full set of 4 extra broader Pine Sill tips for that soldering iron, including all sort of postage and everything, cost 70 quid. That's for all 3 items. So that's 70 UK pounds, which I think is an absolute bargain. But like I said, that's for all three of them items. So one thing that did amuse me is, I don't know if you can see it here on screen, PinePower Desktop UK instead of desktop. So it must have known what my desktop looks like, because it is more of a desk tip actually. But let's go into now more detail on what the difference is between Quick Charge 3 and normal old-fashioned USB 2, and I'll show you the capabilities of that power delivery 65 watt USB-C socket. Okay, so this is a demo on some of the capabilities of this charger, power supply, not just a charger. As you can see, it's got three just normal run-of-the-mill bog standard USB sockets in the middle, a Quick Charge 3 red USB socket here, and this one PD 65 watts, so it's like a USB-C that's capable of power delivery up to a maximum of 65 watts. Now, what that all means is that I'll show you the difference on this, which is an old technology power bank, and this one, which is a newer one. Now, this one here I've had a long time, maybe 3 or 4 years, I would think, and it's got a massive capacity. I don't know whether you can see it there, but it's 26,800 milliamps, so 27,000 milliamps, 27 amp capacity. I got this because of that massive capacity, and it's worked great and it's been dead reliable, and it is genuinely that capacity. I've measured it, but I've never ever needed that capability. It weighs quite a bit, and I've never needed all that capability before I've had a chance to recharge it. And the sockets here are like just dumb bog standard USB. They're not intelligent. They don't negotiate different voltages and amperage, just the amperage. And it's got a lightning socket and a USB, but they're just for a micro USB, sorry, and a lightning socket. They're just for input. The only outputs on it, and it's got a USB-C here, but all them are just for inputs. The only output is these two normal USB sockets. So we'll try it in all these, and I'll show you what to do. And this is, like I say, the dumb one. So if we plug, we'll try it just on the normal ones first. So we'll just plug a USB lead in there, and we'll start charging this power bank from this power supply. And as you can see, it's putting in 5.1 volts at 2 amps. So that's putting in 10.2 watts of power. Now, that's just through a normal USB that only goes up to 5 volts and maximum 5.1, but the amperage will vary. As it's getting fully charged, it will turn that down, as with all battery packs. Now, if I put it in this one, the quick charge one, you'll see the voltage stays at 5.2, so that's putting in 9.88 watts. So again, 10 watts input. It's stuck at 5.2 volts because this power bank is old technology and not able to negotiate a charge rate any higher. So if we unplug it from that one and we plug in this, so we've got now we've got USB-C here going in as before, and we've now got it in the power delivery 65 watt USB, but again you can see it's only 5.1 volts at 1.8 amps because it is a dumb pack, and that's all it will ever accept, 5.1 volts. Now if we try a more modern one, and I picked this up yesterday from Lidl's, Again, be doing a full review on this. Look out for that one. If we unplug it here, again, I'll just plug in the normal the normal USB ones. These three sockets here in the middle, like I said, are just normal box standard USB. All they're capable of putting out is 5 volts, up to a maximum of 3 amps. Your battery pack, your phone, or whatever you're charging, will usually take like the full oomph to begin with when it's a dud battery, and then as it gets topped up, it'll lower the amperage down, but it will always only ever be at 5 volts. The quick charge one, the red one, that can put out 5 volts at 3 amps. So that's 15 watts, 5 times 3. 9 volts at 2 amps. So that's 18 watts. Or 12 volts at 1.5 amps. 12 times 1.5 is 18 again. So you can see that can vary its voltage up and down, negotiating with whatever it's charging, and if necessary it will put in up to 12 volts. Your USB 3 one here, this PD 65 watts one, now that can do 5 volts at 3 amps, 15 watts, 9 volts at 2 amps, same as before, 18 watts, 12 volts at 3 amps, so that's 36 watts, 15 volts at 3 amps, 45 watts, or 20 volts at 3.25 amps. So that is 65 watts, and that's what it means by 65 watts. The maximum it can put out is 20 volts at 3.25 amps. Now, I've done a review on the soldering iron that I bought together with this from the same manufacturer, and as you'll see on that, it puts a full 20 volts into that soldering iron and gets it hot almost instantly. So they're a much more modern standard. The Quick Charge 3 can go up to a maximum of 12 volts, but the other one can go up to 20 volts. So that's your fastest, quickest, most powerful charge, but will only work with a more intelligent phone, battery pack, or whatever you're charging. So I'll just show you that now. So we're plugged in again, the one of the middle ones, just a fixed 5.2 volts at that. And if I plug this in now, we're at 83% charge on that, but this battery pack will accept a full rate charge almost right to the very end. Again, have a look at the review I've done on that and it'll show that happening. But at the moment, 5.1 volts at 2.2 amps. So 2.2 times 5.1 equals, we're putting 11.22 watts into that now. Now if I unplug it and plug it in the Quick Charge 3 one, we'll see now that's now gone up to 12 volts. That's pumping in 12.1 volts at 1.6 amps, 19.3 watts. So it's pumping in 19 watts now. So again, much quicker. So that battery pack or that phone or whatever with Quick Charge 3 technology will charge much, much faster from a Quick Charge 3 compatible charger or power supply like this. Now again, if I unplug that and plug the USB lead in, so we're in the Power Delivery 65 one now. Now it won't go up to 20 volts on this. If the device would accept 20 volts like the soldering iron, it would, but they negotiate with each other, they talk to each other, give it the maximum safe voltage and amperage that it can handle, and that's now going in at, so it was 19.36 watts in the quick charge 3 one. That's now going in at 12.1 volts times 1.4 amps. That's going in at 16.94, so 17 watts. So we'll get in a couple of watts more using the quick charge one than that. They will vary a tiny bit. It can be the construction of the lead and things like that. But as you see, using either this red quick charge 3 socket or the USB-C power delivery 65 watts will charge your device up a lot quicker than using one of the box standard ones, but only if that device is new technology. Again, my phone here, which I've been using to do the sums, is old technology. It's USB-C input, but it's just fixed at 5.2 volts. It won't negotiate any higher voltage than that, whereas a more modern phone will. And just to prove that it is accurate, I'll just show you plugged in here. See what this is saying. This time we'll plug this little gizmo in. It's 11.9 volts, so 12 volts to all intents and purposes, at 1.49, so 12 volts at 1.5 amps. And the thing is showing 12 volts at 1.6 amps. So it shows this isn't telling lies, it is putting out that voltage. And the other feature of this is this. The whole top surface, as you can see, is a wireless charger. If your phone is capable of taking a wireless charge, that is a 10 watt maximum output on that. The whole unit itself puts out a total of 120 watts. So you could be charging up at maximum rate on nearly everything. You could be putting out the 65 watts from that, and the 10 watts from here, 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 and you're still within its 120 watt capability. A lot of these things you'll find it'll only put out its maximum wattage from one socket, and then the more of devices you plug in, it drops right down. Well, like I said, this can kick out 120 watts with everything connected up. And the other thing is the little button there. So I think it's about time we took this off as well. Always satisfying pulling one of them off. And like I say, touch sensitive, brings it back on. It's still charging up now. It's up to 85%. 12 volts, 1.3 amps. The battery symbol, as you see underneath, is just a moving display saying it is putting out a charge. It's not a battery state display. It'd be handy if that showed the state of your battery. And I don't see any reason why they couldn't have made it do that, because they're obviously talking to each other, it's sensing the load and that. It should know that this is nearly full, and then bars could stay on. That would indicate a full battery when it's fully charged, but it's not. They just carry on just doing that all the time when something is connected. That's all they are. No real need to have them on, really. But yeah, full voltage display, full amperage display of what it's providing, wireless phone charging, 120 watt total output, 65 watt maximum from that, and yeah, great little unit. So I've just tagged this bit on the end. This is from my review of the soldering iron I got from the same company. Got it at the same time. Check out my review on that. It's a fantastic soldering iron. But as you can see, that's taking advantage of the the PD 65 watt USB-C output, and you can see how quick this thing gets up to temperature. But that is pumping in now 20 volts at 2.3 amp. You'll see it keeps switching the load on and off and reducing it down to maintain the temperature of the soldering iron. But like I say, 20 volts at 2.3 amps, so over 40 watts of power going into that. And yeah, you can see what that USB socket is capable of pumping out. So yeah, as you see there, a very, very capable little power supply, which will fit lovely on my desktop or my desk tip here, and can use it for all sorts of stuff, including that soldering iron. So I hope this has been of some use to you. I would thoroughly recommend this so far. I can't fault it. And if you like these reviews, please subscribe by clicking the little icon of the shed here. There's loads more in the pipeline, and I'll catch you for one of them very, very soon. Thanks for watching this one. Bye for now.